Hi guys, my name is Casey Lombardi. I go to VCU and I am in Kristen Donovan's Just Say No class. Today I'm going to be doing a little presentation on mephedrone. So what is mephedrone? For those of you that don't know what mephedrone is, it is a derivative of a cathinone, which cathinones are the active ingredient in a East African plant known as khat. It does usually come as a white powder, and it is typically sniffed. It is a designer drug, so it's similar to MDMA, and it was sold on the internet starting around 2007 and was legal in the United States until 2011. So it was actually synthesized first in 1929, but it wasn't really touched again until the early 2000s when Israeli scientists experimented with cathinones when working for an insecticide company. So it was used for a few years as a horticultural product, and because it was well known as being used for horticulture, it was able to be sold on the internet, and it was labeled not for human consumption. This was actually a pretty good way for it not to be regulated by food and safety regulations. So there was a study done over the internet. About over 1,000 people actually responded saying that they had used mephedrone, and these were the effects that they reported. So again, similar to MDMA, 99% said that they experienced an increased energy. And then people also experienced euphoria, talkativeness, an urge to move or do things, increased empathy, and sexual desire as well. So the negative effects, again, similar to MDMA: jaw clenching, body sweats, heart racing, overheating, blurred vision, and vomiting. So the come down effects or the withdrawal effects, 90% reported feeling tired, and 82% said that they couldn't sleep. So 78% said they experienced nasal decongestion. People were also experienced irritability, loss of the memory of sessions, so that could be almost a blackout. They don't remember what happened when they used mephedrone. And then 25% reported using or wanting to use again. This could, down the line be related to addiction. So what is a typical dose? Unfortunately, mephedrone is so new that the LD50 of mephedrone is unknown. So people don't really know how much you need to take to overdose. However, the average dose is anywhere from 100 to 250 milligrams. 100 being like the lighter dose, 250 being the pretty heavy duty dose. Mephedrone can be sniffed, can be eaten, or it could be put in a drink. However, it's too unstable to be smoked. And it has been administered intravenously, but this is extremely rare. Again, if you do inject anything, you put yourself at a higher risk. So obviously this is not something that I or anybody for that matter would probably recommend doing. So how common is it? So it is a club drug, meaning that it's more common among the rave scene, parties, and it is more popular in the United Kingdom than in the US. So who is using this drug? So a study was done in the UK to determine the prevalence of use among children and college students And this is before the ban in 2010. So this is when, it was readily available. There were no laws against it. So it actually found that among the 1,006 people surveyed, 20.3% reported use of mephedrone. So that's a pretty high number when you think about it. 20% of children and college students using this drug. However, of the people that did report using, 23.4% of these users only used once. But 4.4% reported daily use. Again, that number is pretty low, but daily use is also pretty intense. 48.8% stated that they received the drug from street dealers, and 10.7% stated they received it over the internet. So again, probably buying it from a plant food website. So there is a drug and alcohol testing lab in the UK that kind of put their results out there. And so this is actually the result of hair strand testing. 10.2% of people getting hair tested came up positive for mephedrone, and only 7.2% came up positive for cocaine. So that kind of shows that since 2012, mephedrone is actually more popular than cocaine in the UK. So here's an interesting fact that I found in the nut text. So cocaine, again, is a pretty harmful drug. A lot of people do overdose. So this actually states that mephedrone may have prevented many deaths due to cocaine overdose in 2009. So in 2008, the first 6 months, 95 people died of cocaine overdose. In 2009, in the first 6 months, only 66. So Professor Sheila Bird believes that this was due from the switch to mephedrone from cocaine, and she calculated about 40 deaths had been avoided that year. However, mephedrone does or has been attributed to deaths, but of the dozen deaths in 2009, 2 have been confirmed as being related solely to mephedrone use. So of the 2, one was a 46-year-old man with other health problems who injected large doses intravenously. So again, if you shoot up something, you are more likely to experience risks. And the other deaths were due to cocktailing drugs. They contributed mephedrone to the mental health status of somebody who committed suicide, and someone else was actually on mephedrone and they got into a car accident. So here are some harm reduction tips. Like any drug, do not mix it with any other drugs. That's how you get yourself in trouble. Always start with a low dose. So I would recommend even less than the 100 milligrams starting out, just because you never know how a drug will affect you. Have someone sober with you. So if you're going to do a drug, you want to make sure you have someone sober, just because your thinking skills are not going to be on par with somebody who is sober. You always want to make sure you have somebody there to help you make decisions, and have somebody who's done it with you before, or who has done it before with you. So this will help because they know what to expect. They've done it before. They could kind of walk you through the process. And keep in mind that since the ban, the purity is unknown and it may fluctuate. So because you can't get it online and it's not pure anymore, you don't know what they're mixing in it. Dealers have been known to mix other drugs in to get kind of the same effects, so you don't know exactly what you're getting. So even if you have done it before, keep it at a low dose, just because the purity can be different than the last time you used it. and then stay in a cool and safe environment. Just like MDMA, it has been known to overheat people, so make sure you are somewhere cool and somewhere that you feel safe. And here are my references. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoyed my little presentation on Mephedrone.